Welcome to your Friday night fertility chat. My name is Michelle Tillman, your faith-based fertility coach. I help couples who are struggling to get pregnant to unblock their fertility so they can start the family of their dreams. And one of the biggest things that I want to talk about is male factor fertility issues and reminding ourselves of what it truly means to be normal. What does it mean when the doctor says everything is fine? When the doctor says everything is good, everything is fine, what exactly does that mean? Sometimes it's really easy to feel like I don't know what's going on with my body. I already know, or I don't know what's going on. If there's anything going on with my husband's body, if it's my body, if it's us together, I need you to help me understand. And what you have to start doing is challenging your medical professionals because sometimes they dismiss what could be going on with your male partner if they don't truly know how to consider what is now normal was not normal just 60 years ago. And when I say 60 years ago, that's probably like the age of your parents, or if you're super young, of your grandparents. So you have to consider what was normal in 1970 is not what's normal in 2025. And how are statistics gathered? When the doctor is looking at your test results and trying to tell you, okay, I think that you have this issue you're dealing with, endometriosis, you're dealing with fibroids, you're dealing with PCOS. Drop in the chat. Let me know, who am I talking to? Drop a 1 if this is your first time here. Drop a 2 if you've been here before. And then also let me know, have you been given any diagnosis? And if so, what diagnosis has your doctor given you? Because I think sometimes we have to remember that what is considered normal now was not normal when our parents were trying to get pregnant. And so we have so many other things in our environment that we have been battling against. And so you got to know what was normal then is not normal now. And you got to know, because of how our food is made and how all the things that we do and have in our homes, we have got to clean up, detox, change our daily habits so that our bodies can get back to what used to be called normal. So double tap the screen for me. Let's get into it here tonight. Double tap the screen. It's Friday night fertility. Thank you so much for being in here. I'm Michelle Tillman. Hey, Renetta, I see you on YouTube. Double tap the screen over on TikTok. Drop a comment on YouTube. Thumbs up this video if you're on YouTube. Like, comment, share, all the good stuff. So one of the things that is really important is that we know what was normal is not what's necessarily normal now. And so for you to look at the test results that you're given. Hey, no, for you to look at the test results that you were given and for you to have your doctor tell you everything looks normal. Sometimes they are dismissing what your results are based on what is normal now. So the more further away we get from eating real food and not being in such chemically induced environments, the further away your body is from being organically the way that God created our environment to be before all these. Yes, there's great things have happened that have made scientific revolution, if you will, that have made this world a better place, but it also has made it a more chemical induced place. It has made your environment more difficult. Sometimes one of the things that we don't consider is something small like our cell phones and our electronics. Shout out to YouTube. I see there's a few people over there watching as well as TikTok. Authentically says, I was told by 2 fertility experts that there was no explanation. Shout out. Can we talk about unexplained infertility for a second? Can we talk about it? Because what I have found is that there is not a such thing as unexplained infertility. Every person who I've met, matter of fact, I just did an interview because I'm starting a podcast. I just did an interview with one of my clients who was pregnant. Her baby's now a year old, and she was told she had unexplained infertility. And what I have found from my research is that unexplained infertility to a doctor just means you don't fit in this category, or this category. And these are all categories that have medical interventions tied to them. If your category doesn't have a medical intervention tied to them, you have unexplained infertility. If your issue can be resolved holistically without any medical intervention, you now have unexplained infertility. And that's why when you go to a fertility expert and they tell you, they run all their tests and like, I don't know, we don't know. No doctor is going to say, well, you know what? If we worked on reducing you eating foods that are going to bring down your inflammation and make it easier for an embryo to attach, here's a different meal plan. Follow this for 90 days. Come back. No. It's specifically if them telling you that you have unexplained infertility, and then correct me if I'm wrong, but did they offer you anything? Well, since you have unexplained infertility, then why don't you just do this? Did they offer you any service? You can answer in the chat if you're still on. Did they offer you any service? She says yes. So this is my biggest thing with unexplained infertility. If it is unexplained, then how do you have a medical procedure as a recommendation for me? You don't even know why I'm not getting pregnant, but you want me to pay for a medical procedure. Now that is what I do not understand. How is it that you want me to pay for a medical procedure? Okay, you want me to pay for a medical procedure. Sorry, YouTube, my camera went out for a second. But how is it that you want me to pay for a medical procedure? YouTube, I don't know what's going on with my screen. It's black. Can y'all still hear me over there on YouTube? How is it that you want me to pay for a medical procedure? Hey, Ashley, but yet you have not given me a diagnosis. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. It makes absolutely no sense for a doctor to tell you you have unexplained infertility. Y'all double tap the screen for me. Double tap the screen. Let's get to 100 likes real quick, please. How is it that you, let me change my camera because I don't know why it's still. If I truly do not have anything that you think is an issue, how are you going to solve that issue? That's like going to the heart doctor and they say, you have unexplained heart failure. Let's do heart surgery. Well, you going to wait till you get in to see what's going on? Like, I personally would not feel comfortable with you poking around and we don't even know what the problem is. And so that would be, if your doctors have told you that, that would be my key to go to a holistic option. You don't have to work with me, but If I were you, I might. You don't have to work with me, but I have found that it is typically related to nutrition, nutrition or chromosomal abnormalities. But how do you correct chromosomal abnormalities? Through nutrition. There's a very specific plan that you have to follow. You can't freestyle it and eat whatever you want. You have to be very strict for 3 months minimum, preferably 6. But my clients with recurrent miscarriage, and I've had quite a few who I've helped get pregnant in the last year, probably at least 3 or 4. One of the biggest things with recurrent miscarriage is that you have got to avoid getting pregnant for 3 to 4 months while you work on everything holistically, specifically what you're eating. A lot of times with recurrent miscarriage, when people experience loss, and if you have experienced loss, I'm so sorry for your loss. That's something that I wish not on no woman. I wish no woman has to go through a loss. One of the biggest mistakes that I see with women who have experienced loss is that they try to immediately get pregnant again. Not only does that take an emotional toll on you, but your body is physically drained and not ready to start the pregnancy process again. So then you go into another pregnancy nutrient deficient in so many different areas. Because here's something that people don't recognize. When you have a baby, those first few weeks are so vital. So if you just went through a loss and that baby was taking all the nutrients that it should from you as mama, and then you have a loss and you haven't allowed your body enough time to rebuild up all your nutrients again. Thank you for the rose, Ashley. And then you immediately go back into trying to get pregnant again. It it's usually not good. Shantae says, glad I'm hearing this. I had a miscarriage 2 years ago, stopped all IVF. Yeah, and I know a lot of times there's people who get IVF and maybe it doesn't work, or maybe they've never been pregnant before and then they got pregnant using IVF, but then they had a loss. Sometimes you have to consider the emotional toll of IVF. You have to consider the financial toll of IVF. You have to consider the physical toll of IVF. and then really consider, if I'm going to do this again, if I don't do this again right now, will I mentally, physically, emotionally be able to like put myself through this again? Or will I talk myself out of it? That's one thing. But the other thing to consider is, if I had a loss, what is my body missing that without at least 3 months of preparation, I will not have time to fix before my next round? Because IVF is expensive. So do you want to risk that you have not fixed all that you need to fix before you go back for another round? That's something to consider. But everyone has their own, like, I'm going to give you my thoughts. Like, I have a client who was in the exact same situation. She was never pregnant before. She didn't want to go the holistic route because it takes a little longer, which is totally understandable if you're in your 40s and you're like, holistic route sounds cool, but I'm already like 43. And I don't want to, depending on what your AMH is, your family history of when your parents had you, your mother, when depending on your family history, when your mother had you, and at what age, or what age your mother may have went into menopause, you may think, I don't know if I want to do the 3 to 6 months of holistic time. There are some powerful supplements that I recommend in addition to making the lifestyle changes. I have what's called the 4S formula that I put my clients on. Using the 4S formula, we will walk through every area that you need to address. Some of them physical, some of them spiritual, some of them emotional. And you need to do all of those things because you are a fool. And I'm going to say, you are straight up fool. If you think your emotional well-being, if you think your stress levels, if you think those things do not affect your fertility, you are a fool. If you think, oh, I'm really stressed out, but I'm going to just, oh no, that affects your reproductive system. Please don't think you being stressed out because you're able to handle it. Just because you're able to handle it and you're not breaking down crying every day, that does not mean the stress is not affecting your body. You have got to holistically look at everything. Shantae says, I stopped drinking in November and my cramps during my cycle are gone. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, you'd be surprised at alcohol and caffeine are those two things that people just, ooh, you better not talk about my caffeine and you better not talk about my alcohol. And people always want me to send them the study. Send me the study that says. Ooh, that's good, Renetta. Renetta on YouTube said, stress is silent, but it affects you still. That is so good. Stress is silent, but it affects you still. That is so true, and that's so good. But with caffeine and alcohol, people don't like when I'm like, hey, I know. Shantae, thank you for the follow. People with caffeine, they don't like when you tell them, hey, maybe you should cut your caffeine. Maybe you should slow down on your drinking. People have hyped up coffee and caffeine to be like, now, here's my thing. I'm all about, my thing is, let's be real about it. When I'm not trying to get pregnant, I'm gonna drink my caffeine. When I'm not trying to get pregnant, I'm gonna have a little drinky drink. Let's just be real. But if you're in a place when you're trying and you have so much on the line and you're getting older, maybe you're having issues with ovulation, maybe your periods aren't as regular, or maybe your periods are super heavy and you're not getting pregnant. If you're not getting pregnant after years of trying, it might be time to think, you know what, maybe I should cut back on my caffeine, my coffee, my energy drink, my shots on the weekend. Now, of course, we all know there's someone who turns up every weekend and they're still pregnant. Yes. We know there's someone who does crack cocaine. We know there's someone who's on my 600-pound life. They are the epitome of unhealthy, but they still get pregnant. I understand that. And it's very frustrating. It's frustrating to feel like you have to make tons of lifestyle changes and sacrifice and give up all the things that you love um, to get pregnant. And then there's other people who don't. Cantress says, I'm taking metformin and inositol, drinking some fertility teas, and I'm just patiently waiting. Well, those are very small things, but depending on your lifestyle, those are probably not enough to move the factor. You're going to have to do some more than that. Those are good. That's a good start, but it's like, that's about this small portion, because that's kind of all on the supplement side. Supplements are one small portion of the big picture. So the teas, the metformin, the inositol, like depend on if you're ovulating or not, like those are one small portion of the big picture of the things that affect your fertility. So that's a good start, but you got a lot more that you would need to consider if you haven't been getting pregnant. Now, again, I'm not talking to someone who's only been trying for a few months. If you only been trying for a few months, do what you want to do, right? But if you want a detailed strategy based on your specific situation and someone looking at your whole life, then you need to book a call with me. Now, if you've been only trying for a few months, then keep doing what you're doing and you will get pregnant eventually. But if you've been trying for a while and someone said your live contains themes that some might find uncomfortable and has been restricted, regulated goods content. Who put a comment that I talked about regulated goods? Who? Y'all TikTok folks, y'all just be making up stuff. I promise you do. Regulated goods. We're literally talking, okay, it's probably because I mentioned the things, the supplements that you talked about. I won't say supplement names anymore. Um, so someone said I eat healthy. I missed, there was another comment, male factor tips. For male factor, again, it's really person dependent. Yeah, your doctor's probably just going to say take supplements. But really for male factor, yeah, they should take supplements, but you got to look at overall lifestyle. Have to know a ton about your male partner to give a good suggestion. Like, how does he sleep? How does he have, what are his stress levels like? What is his weight? What is his height? Does he work out? Is he riding bikes? Does he have his phone in his pocket? I mean, there's literally, when I say I have 50 questions for you, I'm not joking. For me to give you my true recommendations, I have about 50 questions. That's why when people book a call with me, Candy Sass, thank you so much for the follow. When people book a call with me, it takes me a few days to prepare because I want to pray. I want to ask God, okay, what are you saying about Shantae? What are you saying about her husband or her partner? Like, what are the things that she needs to be doing? And then based on your questions, I'm going to look through everything. Like, typically any diagnosis that someone has, I've had help someone get pregnant with that diagnosis. So let me look back at the things that worked and shifts and create a plan specifically for you and say, okay, I need you to follow this plan for the next 90 days and watch what happens. Most people who work with me get pregnant in the first 4 months. So detailed things, I wouldn't be able to give you detail because I have to know a lot about you. But in general, check your sleep, check your stress, check, supplements, your spiritual walk, like all those things matter too. Anything for painful periods, magnesium. If you have a painful period, you need to take magnesium. But again, it really depends on how long you've been having a painful period. Have you ever taken any BC? I'll say BC because I don't want them to block me. Have you ever taken BC? If so, what kind? How much sleep are you getting? Do you have any diagnosis? It's a whole lot to it. It's a whole lot to it. You can go to the link in my bio. I have an Amazon store with all the brands that I recommend. So just go to the link in my bio to my Amazon store, and all the stuff that I recommend is in my Amazon store. But again, Renetta says I had to get off social media so I can sleep, and let me tell you, I hit my 8 hours, far more now. Good, good. Yeah, for me. Oh, that's why you're on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, for me, I've been doing really good with my sleep this week. I mean, with the exception of tonight, because Friday night is kind of like my one night to stay up a little later. But yeah, sleep is so important. People don't even think about how, like, you can be doing all your healthy stuff. I forgot who it was. I think it was Encantress who said, I eat really healthy. I do. You could be doing all your healthy stuff, taking all your supplements. You could be having sex at the right time, but if you and your partner are both not getting a nice 7 to 9 hours of rest, your body's like, oh, you trying to heal? We don't have time to heal. You don't sleep enough. So make sure that you're getting the rest that you need. But again, all the links to what I recommend is in my bio. But again, supplements are this small part. So you can grab all the supplements in my bio, but if you're not looking at yourself holistically, and sometimes you can't see your own mess. Like you look at yourself and you're like, oh, I'm fine. I'm doing okay. Like I don't have nothing crazy. Like, but there's so many things that you're overlooking. So many of my clients, when they come, they were like, girl, I never thought about that, this. So it's just when having either you have the community of people where you have friends now who are all in the same space as you. And then you also have me, who's your fertility expert, to look at your situation and say, oh, this is what's going on. I know you think that has nothing to do with your fertility, but trust me, it does. Trust me, it does. So if you're one of those people like, well, you know what, let me just make sure. If you want to just make sure that you're not missing anything and you want to have a plan to follow for the next 90 days, like I need to work on this, and this, I literally give you a 90-day action plan. And then after that, if you say, okay, not only, okay, I got the action plan, but I need you to stay on me. you need me to stay on you. Then that's when you would do group coaching. Where you can be in our group. We meet every week. We do Bible study every week. We do prayer every week. So every time, if you're going through something, we're going to pray for you. We're going to worship. We're going to read the word. We're going to read books. We got book club going on. We're literally empowering you and walking you through your journey. Now, hear me out. I am a faith-based fertility coach. I am a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. So for some of you, that might not be your speed, but you're going to get prayer. You might get a little hebo shandididi. If that bothers you, I'm not your coach. You're going to get a little prayer. You're going to get a little speaking in tongues. You're going to be getting journaling. You might get, a prophecy. It's a lot that we do, but I believe that it's all God-led, because some of you, this is your first time ever finding me. You just happen to see my live. And most of my clients have randomly found me from TikTok. Most of my clients have found me just like you watching here. And the women, matter of fact, I interviewed one of my clients now. Her miracle baby is 1 year old. And she was like, yeah, I just randomly found you on TikTok. And so to think that you could be randomly scrolling on TikTok and find some girl in her sleep jacket, fertility coach, and God just guides you to work with me. And then a year from now, you're holding your baby. Like, your life could literally change from an encounter on TikTok. So I just pray that for those of you who have questions, for those of you who want to know more, who want to get to work, that you see me and you hear my heart. My goal is to help as many women get pregnant as possible. But what I have found is that there's so much to look at. I would be doing you a disservice if I try to just tell you, well, you could grab my book. I have a book. It's $7 at the link in my bio. You can follow everything that I recommend from my book. And there's some people who will just buy my book and they will get pregnant just because they did everything from the book. And that has happened before. There's people who are like, yeah, I bought your book 4 months ago and now I'm pregnant. Or one lady, she didn't even tell me until after she had the baby. She was like, yeah, I had the baby. Here's the picture. I followed everything in your book. I was like, what? That actually happened 2 times. So yeah, I have a book that's linked in my bio. I have a masterclass that you can join, complimentary masterclass. And when you join that masterclass, if you register for it, you also get, when you join the masterclass, you also get a checklist of all the things that I recommend that you start looking at. So if you're one of the people like, well, I need to know what are the things I could be missing, do the masterclass. You'll learn a lot there. And plus, I'll send you a free checklist of all the things, like 27 things that you need to look at. Do you work with those who may have a blood clotting issue? Yes, but I'm all about let's do as much as we can without going to the doctor. But if you have a blood clotting issue, you do have to be willing to go to your doctor, to your hematologist, and we all work together. So yes, I have. Now I have experienced some people who thought like, okay, well, if I hire you, I don't need to go to the doctor. But if you have a blood clotting issue, you're going to still need to work with your doctor because there's some things when it comes to blood clotting that is serious. And I am not a doctor. I am not a medical doctor. I am a fertility expert and educator, not a doctor. So in that sense, as long as you understand you still have to go to the doctor, you're going to have to make some appointments. There's some things that I cannot do virtually with you. There's some tests that you do have to go into a doctor to take. So absolutely, I will absolutely work with you as long as you understand those things, because I never want to give the impression that, oh, I got some magic dust I'm about to send you and all your blood clots are going to go away. Like, no, we have to really dig in. Now, you may have already went to the doctor. You may have some answers. Maybe they put you on some medications. That's a great start because that way I already know what you're taking. But it depends on where you're at. Like, you have the disorder. You possibly already have some things that you're taking. You're welcome, Lakia. What type of products do you have to conceive? I don't have products. I have services. So I don't sell products. I am a service. So I walk you through getting from wherever your diagnosis is to your miracle baby. So everything in the process, from the time you get pregnant to the time you give birth and beyond, I'm walking you through all the steps. So first thing is identifying what is blocking you from getting pregnant. That is my specialty, to look at your situation and say, okay, this is what's blocking you, and this is what you need to change if you want to get pregnant faster. Now, some people they just want to kind of guess and Google. How much is it for a pregnancy prep call? It's $297. We're going to spend 2 hours together, and I'll spend a few days preparing before that call. So if you're interested in the call, you can go to my website, which is fertilityfreak.com, or you can go to the link in my bio and click pregnancy prep call. Trust me, it's worth every dime. Every dime. I give you way more than you could ever expect. And I believe that when you have your miracle baby, you won't care about $297. When you're pregnant and you had your baby and God has opened your womb, that's chump change. That's for a one-time call. If you want group coaching after that and we decide it's a good fit, then you can upgrade to group coaching after that, and I'll take off the price of the pregnancy prep call. So yes, hopefully that answers your question. But my name is Michelle Tillman. I'm a faith-based fertility coach, and I help couples who are trying to get pregnant, who are struggling to get pregnant, to unblock their fertility so they can start the family of their dreams. Drop a 1 if this is your first time here. Drop a 2 if you've been here before, and double tap the screen. Why aren't we at 1,000 likes? It doesn't make sense. There's a few of you in here. If all of y'all just double tap 10 times, we'll be at 1,000 likes. Just tap, tap. But yes, so I'm excited about the women who are here. I love that you guys are asking questions and giving feedback, because it shows that you are open to understanding and learning and seeing something different. One of the biggest things that I see that really is difficult to navigate for some women is you can't conceive the fact that you haven't already done everything. It is very easy to feel like I've already done everything. There's nothing anyone can tell me. I know all the stuff already. When in reality is, if you knew everything already and you were doing everything that you knew already, you would already have your miracle baby. I mean, I know that might be hard to hear, but the truth is sometimes you can't see your own mess. Sometimes you can't see your own mess. And with all respect, it's easy to overlook things when you're tired, when you're sick and tired of seeing everybody else get pregnant and you're still waiting, when you've been trying everything that you know to do, when you've been reading the blogs, when you've been watching the TikToks, uh, when you are feeling depressed, when you are feeling anxious, when you are feeling alone, when you find out your friend is pregnant again or your coworker is pregnant again, it can feel discouraging. Sani says, will it work if you're 56.5 and never had children? When you say it work, I'm not sure what you mean. I saw a 60-minute call for 12. No, ma'am. I don't have. You must be on. Are you on the right website? No, 60. The pregnancy prep call is $297, Shantae. I'm not sure what link you went to. If you have Instagram, shoot me a DM and shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'm Fertility Freak on Instagram, so I can see what you're talking about. We have a pregnancy prep call that's $297. That's for the call, $297 US. But to the person, I saw 265. I'm not sure. I don't have anything for 265. It's 297. Oh, okay, yeah, 297. That's the pregnancy prep call. But if you want a group coaching, that's a different price. Okay, so let me go back to the lady's question. If you're 56 and you never had children, it's not about your age. It's about, do you still have a monthly period? Are you ovulating? Do you have tubes? Do you have a uterus? Those are the questions I need to know. Your age is irrelevant because there's people who get pregnant. I seen a video the other week of a lady who was in her 50s pregnant. But again, you have to have not be in menopause. You have to be still ovulating every month. You're ovulating, fallopian tube, no periods. Okay, so I will just challenge you that if you don't have any periods, then you're not ovulating. If you were ovulating, a period would happen after that. If you're ovulating, you should have a period like 12 to 14 days. Hopefully that makes sense. As long as you have tubes, at least one tube. I've had clients get pregnant with only one tube. You gotta have at least one tube, and you gotta be having a monthly period. I'm talking about if you're in your 50s, because it's more likely that you're closer to menopause. Now, if you're younger and you don't have a period, or you had one and it stopped, we could probably bring your period back with some changes. But if you're in your 50s and you don't have a period, I'd be more concerned that you're already in menopause. But if you're having a period and you're ovulating, then you could still get pregnant. I'm gonna check my link to make sure that I want to make sure who was it, Shantae, just so I can make sure that what you're saying, to see what you were talking about for the price. If you're going to the link in my bio, you could click hire us to get pregnant faster, and it will take you to the page that looks like this. I'm gonna turn my camera around real quick. Flip camera. Okay. So if you go here, if you're looking at, it should look something like, let me go back. Should look something like this. Okay. Pregnancy prep session, you can click on that. And then you book a call, that's $297. Or if you're here and you go to where it says hire us to get pregnant faster, it takes you here. Has some of my testimonials. And then you go down here for group coaching, pregnancy prep call. So make sure you click the right thing. VIP coaching is something totally different. That's where I come to you in person. Solo coaching is like group coaching, except you also get private calls. And then the pregnancy prep call is right there. So make sure you click the right box of whatever you want. And then let me know if you have questions. And you can always DM me on Instagram and I can help. Sean says, I had 2 miscarriages back to back, but my cycles is on point, so I don't know why I can't get pregnant. I'm so sorry to hear about your losses. So you can get pregnant. You can get pregnant, but more than likely you have some deficiencies that you have to look into. So if you're getting pregnant and you continue to have losses, you may have deficiencies that you, thank you, Renetta. It's almost time to get a fill in. And I hate going to the nail shop. Can I say that? I do not enjoy getting my nails done, but I like how it looks, but I do not enjoy getting my nails done. It is just not fun. It doesn't feel good. Like I used to, back in the day, I used to have a girl who would use all like hand tools. She didn't use like the manual, she didn't use the drills. She did everything by hand. It took forever, but I do not like the drills. But last time I went in there, she did my nail in 30 minutes because they was about to close. I guess she said she ain't staying late. She did my nails in 30 minutes. I was like, dang, girl, that was amazing. Get me in and out in 30 minutes and I'm sold. I want you every time. Someone said, I weigh 206, so I'm thinking it's my weight. A weight alone is not ever a reason why. I have clients who are well above 250. Now, unless you're like 4'11", then maybe. But I have clients above 250 still pregnant after doing some work. So weight alone is not enough. Now, inflammation, possibly. Nutrient deficiencies, possibly. But if you're really serious about getting pregnant, you're 5'4", okay. So yeah, I highly doubt it's your weight. I mean, you want to lower your inflammation and that will cause you to lose weight, but just the fact that you weigh a certain number on the scale doesn't stop you from being able to carry a baby full term. So if you're serious about, trying to get pregnant, then book a call with me and I'll walk you through what you need to do. You're just going to have to avoid pregnancy for at least 3 months while you're building your body up and then start trying again. That's the hardest part for some people. You have to avoid pregnant when you have miscarriages, when you've had 2 or more. I had one client who had 6 miscarriages before she met me. 6. And so on her 7th pregnancy, 5 miscarriages, 6 pregnancies, 5 miscarriages. And then on her 7th, she got pregnant with twins. And now she has twins. But you have to really stop and avoid getting pregnant for at least 3 months. At least 3 months. So make sure that you consider that and be willing to do that, so that you can build your body up so that you can carry full term. Oh, Renata, you said you stopped. Yeah, I really thought about it. Every time I look at them, I'm just like, well, maybe I'll go back one more time. But listen, I'm not going to be one of them people in there every 2 weeks. I'm not going every 2 weeks, once a month. So make them stretch. That's why I learned I'm not getting bright red anymore because it looks real crazy growing out with bright red because I'm only going once a month. That's all you got. I know they be looking at me crazy when I come in there. I'm like, once a month? That's all. You don't want to design? Nope, no design. You need to cut down? Nope, no cut down. Sometimes I do to cut down. But listen, once a month, that's all you're getting out of me. I don't want to go every 2 weeks. That's too much money. I barely want to go once a month. Barely. But now I kind of got used to it. Definitely not going every 2 weeks. Absolutely not. Once a month, maybe every 3 weeks at the most, like if it looks really bad. But as long as they ain't falling off, you'll send me one time a month. But yes, so thank y'all all so much for tuning in. It's 11 o'clock, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm always in the bed before midnight because I get to wake up about 8. So that still gives me a full 8 hours of sleep. So thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate the interaction tonight. And remember, if you need me, you can DM me on Instagram. That's the best way to reach me if you need to send me a screenshot specifically. Because TikTok messaging is like, I don't like it. It's too much. Just DM me on Instagram or send me an email to hello@fertilityfreak.com. Thank you so much. And thanks for tuning on YouTube as well. I think we had a few new people pop in here and there. And of course, Renetta down for whatever. I'll see y'all later. Bye. YouTube.